Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I've got another absolute crap box to show you. This is becoming a bit of a running theme on this channel. There is a reason behind it. It's certainly not logical business sense. There are some things coming up on the channel to look forward to involving some cheap crap cars, and sometimes you got to kiss a few frogs to find your prince, whatever you prefer. So yeah, I've been buying a few different things as cheap as possible that I normally wouldn't have in stock, with another end goal. In the meantime, it means that you get some great content of looking at some of these absolute crap bags that I've bought. Let's have a look at today's. I don't really know why I'm showing you this key, because the central locking doesn't work. Let's imagine, click, click. There it is. 2004 Suzuki Ignis Sport. And she is a beauty. Completely unmolested. Never had any crap modifications. It's a member of the Suzuki Motorsport team. All right, yeah, no, it's a proper Barry Boys car, this. I actually quite like it. Try, if you can, to ignore the fact that it looks like it's been smashed through a Halford's windscreen. It's actually quite a cool car, this. 1.5 petrol. Ignis Sport. I quite like the styling. Some people say it's not much different from a normal Ignis, but I think it's got a bit more presence and that's quite cool, really. Obviously it's got a different grille than standard, I would imagine. Different wheels than standard, and it's had like drift style bumper clips put on it. These are like the quick release. Oh, that's a hairband. So if you had a drift car, they would just pop off, but it's nothing to do with actually how they're fixed. That's just for show, which is incredible, really, because it doesn't look good. The previous owner was obviously a fan of stickers. We've got Suzuki Motorsport stickers all the way around. This seems to be a Paul Walker sticker, something else to do with Suzuki that was on there. Come around the back, we've got Sports Car Club sticker. Of course we do. K&N. This does actually have a K&N filter. ASV, is it? I don't even know. I'm not cool enough to know what that means. Suzuki Motorsport stickers again. The door's been hit against something there. Bit of a shame, but it's not detracting from the general look of this car anyway, really, is it? So nothing to worry about there. And around the front, it's had a carbon effect wrap that's just worn out on this bit of grille that's got a bit of chicken wire on it. Top quality, have been joined in the middle. Paint's going on the bonnet. And someone's decided they want the S from the Suzuki Motorsport on the front, so it's now Suzuki. Let's have a quick look at the wheels. These are like, I think they're bowler style. Quality and design, licensed by, what's that say? Rossi? Surprisingly, it's actually got Toyo proxies all the way around, which is nice to see. Someone's had a little bit of care for what they're putting on this. It's got these weird aftermarket tyre pressure sensors on the front, but not on the back. That's telling us maybe that the front ones go down. I don't know. Let's have a look inside. Oh yeah. It's actually got quite cool interior. These Recaro seats. I mean, it is ripped here, but ignore that bit. Look at the other ones with this sort of tennis racket style fishing net headrest. I think that's proper cool. Same in the back. It stinks like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. Like an old man's bed sit where he just sits and smokes cigars all day. It is grim in here. It's like an ashtray. Some of the first things you spot is there is a subwoofer on the seat with some sublime wiring. I don't actually know if this does work or not, but it's got a half decent head unit which seems to have Bluetooth and extra things, so someone wanted a pumping sound system in here. The gear knob seems to be out of a Subaru because that is an STI badge on there. It's quite a nice gear knob, really, but I'm not sure it belongs in a Suzuki, but fear not. I wouldn't even say that was the original, but there is another one here. quite a decent little boot, to be fair. Spare wheel, McDonald's, of course. What else do you expect to find in here? Oh, a bit of sandwich there. It's got a very nice steering wheel. This is quite sporty, and I think they've done a good job here. This is actually very nice and tactile to hold. It's got some fake sort of carbon fibre effect plasticky bits on here, which looks rubbish. But for the price of one of these things, I guess, not too bad. It does seem to have air conditioning, and that's a bonus, if it works. More very suspect looking wiring. I mean, I imagine that's something to do with the radio. Why is it just taped up? I'm not sure, I want to know. Nothing much in the glove box, apart from the V5, I think. These cup holders are pretty cool, I think. Just right there in the dash, I quite like those. The handy little tray for your phone. You know, what has it got? We've got electric windows, and it's got electrically adjusted wing mirrors. That's a bonus. You can see it's got this little aerial over here, so that means part of the head unit has got DAB. I mean, it's got quite a few good things going for it, this car. I mean, on the surface, if it was an original car and didn't have problems, which isn't really the case. But yeah, on the whole, an Ignis Sport, I think quite a cool little car. Let's have a look under the bonnet. Well, here we go. The owner seemed to be very confused about what car they have, because we've got our Suzuki engine here, nice painted plastic cover there. Oh, is that an STI badge or is that something else? They obviously like a bit of anodised stuff. They've even gone for an anodised battery bracket. It's going to make all the performance differences. So again, a very questionable wiring. What's this for? Remote wiring switch, ring. God knows what that's for. Side lights. I wonder if this has got like daytime running lights or something wired in for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Radiator's got a Nismo cap on it, as if this was a Nissan, which obviously it's not. We've got a K&M filter here, which is mainly just dangling on the engine. But it does sound all right, so can't really knock it for that. Can't see any huge oil leaks from the top, so that's a bonus. But yeah, it's not the most visually pleasing engine bay to see, is it? It's not telling you this car's necessarily been kept in pristine original condition, because obviously it hasn't. Right, let's turn this on, check out the mileage, and see how she sounds. So, fans off. 172,342 miles. Is that a lot on a 2004 1.5 petrol? In my books, I would say that's quite a lot, but you let me know in the comments. Considering the exhaust and the induction kit, it doesn't drone too much. It actually sounds quite good. Let's give it a little rev. You've got to love a bit of induction noise. It just makes it sound that much meatier than a 1.5. Power. So on the surface, for a shitbox lover like me, there's quite a lot to like about this car. And I thought we might be able to use this for something. Maybe we still will, but I have had it into the workshop with Ryan, one of the mechanics at my garage, and he hasn't given it a clean bill of health, unfortunately. From memory, it wants at least 2 wheel bearings. It needs a CV boot. When we drive this in a minute, you'll hear the CV joint clicking like absolutely crazy. It needs disc and pads all round. The front discs are wafer thin, and at least one of the pads in the back wheels just moves with the disc. It's not really in the caliper at all. Various other little bits and things like dodgy wiring and exhaust clamps just rusted away to wafer thin. And possibly maybe some suspension bits and pieces, but yeah, it's not too good, and apparently this thing's quite dodgy to drive. I haven't got time to work on it or have anyone working it at the moment, so I need to drive it about 4 or 5 miles down to my little storage yard at the farm. So let's find out how dodgy it is to drive. as you can probably hear, the wheel bearing is absolutely howling, or wheel bearings. I guess we're probably hearing wheel bearings in stereo at this point. There's definitely some suspension clonks. Oh God. Well, I'll do my best to tell you what I can about driving this car if you can hear me over this absolutely horrendous wheel bearing noise. In fact, I might pull off and go through the back lane so I can go a little bit slower where the car should be, hopefully, a little bit quieter. Okay, so if we stick to under about 20 miles an hour, I think we might be able to talk. Good time to say, of course, it's a Japanese car, so this is a right-hand indicator. It takes a bit of getting used to remembering, but once you're used to it, I actually find it a lot better. It's kind of the old British way. It's, if you've got a left-hand gear stick, it's handy to have a right-hand indicator. You can change gear and indicate at the same time. I'm sure someone out there was saying, "That's not safe, you shouldn't do that, 10 to 2, only one hand." F off. Reality is, I find it really handy to use the right hand to do your indicators while you're changing gears. It works well for me. You do what you like. Seating position's pretty good. The seats are comfortable. They're a little bit narrow for a slightly overweight person like myself, but they are comfortable seats. They're not hard. They've got a lot of cushioning, and they've got a good amount of adjustment to get yourself comfy. One thing that doesn't seem to have too much adjustment is the steering wheel. I can't find any adjustment whatsoever, actually. I could just be being blind and I'm just not very good at finding this, but I cannot find anywhere here at all to adjust the steering wheel, which is fine. You can adjust your seat to it, but it would be nice to have that. This is meant to be a sporty car. Being able to get a perfect driving position would obviously be beneficial. Bugger, horse. What are they going to do? Good news is the car is quiet enough to go past a horse without scaring it and killing the rider, so it's not completely raucous all the time, but it does have a good exhaust note. And in fact, the engine is probably the best part of this car. It seems to be running sweet as a nut. And it pulls really well, sounds really good, which is pretty incredible really, considering it's on 170,000+ miles. In fact, the gearbox is really good too. Having no problems there whatsoever. It seems to shift really nicely, no problems going into gear, no weird noises coming from the gearbox. That said, whether I'd be able to hear it over that howling wheel bearing, I don't know. But the car actually seems to handle really well, and it is nice to drive. Nice light steering, easy to change gear, easy to get going. It doesn't feel underpowered at all. And it certainly doesn't feel squirrely, despite the fact that probably some of the suspension components on this have seen better days. She can handle a fjord, look at this. This leaves me with a bit of a dilemma, because I actually really quite like this car. It's different and quirky, and that's always something I really like in a car. No one wants the same car that everyone else has got and everyone sees everywhere, and everyone says, "Oh yeah, I mean, Anna Julie's got one of them because it's so efficient, isn't it?" This is something that's a bit different. I've got an Ignis Sport, have you? I don't know what one of those is. Great. That's exactly how I like it. So normally I'd just say, well, let's fix it up. But it's all these niggling issues you can hear, and there are quite a lot of them. On a car that cost me 500 quid and is on 172,000 miles, is it worth fixing? Well, that's where you guys come in, I guess. Financially, economically, no, it's not. I mean, I could get my 500 quid back for these seats, and maybe that would be the solution, is to strip this car for parts. Or is the redemption for this car in the content that it could be? Would you like to see me fix this car up? Do all the brake pads, discs, shock absorbers, get this car sorted, get the stickers off, get it looking just less crap. And this could find itself the perfect home in the Barrow Motors fleet as our daily MOT runner, taking cars to and from MOT. We could get this sign written, but it's just not economically worth doing unless it's something that you'd like to see on the channel. So please do let me know. For the moment, it's going to stay living here at the farm until I make a decision. So let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please do let me know. Please like, comment obviously, and I will see you in the next video.